On Wednesday, June 25th, 2025, Jenkins LTS 2.504.3 was released. On today's show, we're going to be taking a look at all the changes in that release. If you're new here, my name is Darin. I am a developer advocate with CloudBees, and along with me today, I have Mark Waite. Mark, how are you doing?
Just great, Darin.
So, again, we're at the end of an LTS release cycle, which we'll get into that in just a few moments. A .3, we don't expect a whole lot. You might be surprised how not a whole lot we may be seeing today. Or maybe it won't be, based on last month's. So
keep it simple.
So for people that don't know what Jenkins LTS is, why don't you tell us and walk us through that?
Sure. So Jenkins does a release every week. These weekly releases come out all year long. Every 12 weeks, we select an LTS baseline. That baseline then is used to backport some fixes, and then we deliver it as a release, .1, so 2.504.1. 4 weeks later, we release a new version of that baseline, 2.504.2. 4 weeks after that, 2.504.3, and then we start the cycle again. 12-week cycles, and delivers nice, stable code on which customers can rely for a period of 4 to 12 weeks.
And that's where we're at. We're at the end of a cycle. We're getting ready to head into the end of July, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But this one is basically what we would expect and hope for in a .3, right?
Right, exactly. It's simple, straightforward, positive progress.
So let's take a look at it. What we have here, we're at the Jenkins site, jenkins.io. We'll click on download and head over to changelog. Mark was talking about weeklies. That's over on this side. But the changelog for LTS, there was one item, count them one, just like what we had last month, 4 weeks ago. What do we see here? Really, this was it?
That's it.
Upgrade to Windstone and Jetty. Now, for people that don't understand, what does this have to do with Jenkins? People may have heard of Jetty, right? Because Jetty's been, but a lot of people may never have heard of Windstone.
Right. So Eclipse Jetty is a web container, right? It's a web container with a good long history, nice stable results, and Windstone is the Jenkins packaging of that Jetty container, and then we use that as the basis for Jenkins as a web server. So when Jenkins delivers web pages, they're coming through Eclipse Jetty and Windstone.
So is it fair to say Jetty's at the core, we have Windstone wrapped around that, and then Windstone is stuffed inside the WAR file?
Correct. I think that's a good way to say it.
Okay. Or you can think of it, the WAR files wrapped around all of that. Mm-hmm. This was just an update. Now, unlike years in the past, sometimes the project would be a little bit slow bringing these things in. Now, the project has been very quick, if you will, of bringing in and making sure we're always up to date. Probably for one reason alone, security scanners.
That's right. Yes, that's it.
We'll leave it at that.
I'd frame it as two things: real security and security scanners. Okay. And it's not always that something is real security, but it is far too frequent that somebody has a security scanner and they say, "Oh, you're not using the most recent dependency." Well, it's good for us to keep up with dependencies, so we upgrade to dependencies much more rapidly now than we might have done in years past.
Good. Now, one other thing we should always do, anytime you're upgrading your LTS, you should always take a look at the upgrade guide. Now, with the upgrade guide on this one, we'll click to here and no notable changes, which is what we would expect. Now, I would not be surprised if at some point in the future that there was a Jetty and or Windstone update, and there could be an upgrade that's associated with that.
Sure.
It's very possible. So just even though by taking a look at it, it's like, oh, it's probably going to be fine. Don't ever trust that. Come over to the upgrade guide just to make sure.
Right. I agree with you. It makes sense to look at the upgrade guide every time. And if you're upgrading across multiple versions, please look at every upgrade for every version that you're touching. It's crucial that you learn from the things we've written so that you're better prepared for success.
So let's put it this way. Let's say you're running 414.3.
Right.
Which is only...
It's about a year and a half old.
About a year and a half old. And for some people, that's not that old.
Right.
What Mark just said is you need to take a look at every one of these. So that means you need to go through the 426 and the 440 and the 452. Don't skip
Absolutely.
any of these because it's not aggregated, right?
Right. Well,
you have to-
and you may have nothing to do on any particular one, but it's worth your reading them. It's far easier for you to read them than for you to fail and then have to go read them later.
yeah. Okay. For this release, that's it.
That is.
Yeah. Now, what's coming in 4 weeks, which is July 23rd, if I'm
Right.
if I'm mathing right.
That's right. You are mathing right.
Let's call it big.
It is big. We should call it big because it is
Yeah.
big.
It's big. Let's just take a look at, just for grins, because I know some things are still in flux, because as of the time that we're doing this live stream, the baseline is going to be 516,
Correct.
which is what we see running on weekly dots, because the weeklies are built on Tuesdays around noon-ish UTC. Notice here that the header looks different. There's a lot of things that are different. Even the base looks different here because there's actually customizable header plugins being used here. But left navs are changing. And let's just say if you have custom tests written that test your Jenkins installation, get ready. Get ready. The reason why I'm saying 516, I didn't finish that thought, there's a chance, a non-zero chance, but also not a 50-50 chance, that 517 could become the new baseline. So wait until tomorrow, check out the mailing lists, because the mailing list at some point tomorrow will tell whether it's going to be 516 or 517. Correct, Mark?
Correct. And right now my working assumption is it'll be 516 with some backports. So, but it could be 516, it could be 517. Right now, 516 is the selected baseline for the July 23rd, and we'll go forward with it.
Okay. So what we've got coming up on July 16th, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was the 16th. Is that a Wednesday? I'm trying to do math fast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is the 16th. We're going to be doing a live stream over on the Jenkins YouTube channel, not here on the CloudBees TV channel, but over on the Jenkins. It's Jenkins CICD is the actual handle for that. I'm going to be hosting a webinar, if you want to call it that, or just a conversation with Jan Farachik, who is one of the gentlemen that has been working on this whole big UI change.
Right.
And we're going to see sort of, maybe how to prepare for it. So that will give you roughly a week before it comes out in LTS. Now, for some people, they've been running weeklies all along, no big deal. But if you're one of the ones that maybe are still running 414 and you're getting ready to jump straight to 516, 517, whatever it is, you might want to check this out. Join us live if you can. I think it's going to be, I'm in Central Time. I think Central Time wise, we're planning on around 10 a.m. Central, which is 3 p.m. UTC-ish, I think, or 2 p.m. UTC. Again, date math, hard. But what will happen is, just like if you had subscribed already to the channel here, you got a notification when we were going live. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to the Jenkins CICD channel. So once we've got that scheduled, we'll probably schedule it a few days in advance. You'll be able to be notified when that live stream, I'm going to call it a live stream, not a webinar, when that goes live. And you can join it or just watch it at your convenience.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. So we've seen, I think last month we looked a little bit at it. This is probably one of the biggest UI changes since the initial UI change from 1x to 2x.
Right. It is, and it's a really nice set of work that Jan has done, and Jan combined with Tim Jacomb and others on the UX SIG. They've done a great job. It's valuable. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of benefit to users,
and relearning of muscle memory.
Yes. Manage Jenkins has moved, among other things, and that means my natural tendency to move to the left and click has to be retrained to move over to the right into the more common place for it. Yep.
Which was why I was saying is, if you've written any kind of automations that depends on handles of anything else, you're going to be rewriting those. Just fair warning.
Yep.
What that will look like, don't know. Anything else, Mark? I think we're good here. I believe the plan is, I haven't scheduled next. Did I already schedule it? I think I did. I did schedule it. So the next show is going to be on Thursday, July 24th, same time, 3:30 p.m. Central, whatever the math is, wherever else you're at. For Mark, it's 2:30 Central, which is, I think you only have now 1 inch of snow on the ground in Colorado. Did you see last week Montana got a blizzard?
I did not. No, I wasn't following them. Good for them. That's great. We're furnace hot here, so we've been warm. So that's okay.
Good. Well, yeah, if you're in a part of the world where it's hot, like I am as well, enjoy the summertime. If you are, or as a meme I saw, isn't it a great thing that we didn't get all that snow last week because it'd be so hot to shovel it?
Right.
That's the kind of country we live in. That's where I want to live. But if you're having real winter right now, enjoy winter because somebody's got to have it, I guess. I'm just glad it's not me right now. So we will see you again in 4 weeks right back here. But again, in about 3 weeks over on the Jenkins CI/CD channel, go subscribe over there and be on the lookout for that live stream we do with Jan on the new UI changes. Mark, anything else?
That's it. Thanks, Darin.
Okay. Thank you, Mark, and everybody else. Have a great rest of your week.